You want a hilarious story from a Catholic mom? I'm going to give it to you. This is not really appropriate for children, okay? So if your kids are in the car, maybe skip this one, listen to it later. Also, maybe not appropriate while drinking something, because if you laugh really hard, you might spit it out. Welcome to Catholic Mom Mindset, a daily show where you learn to walk closely with the Holy Spirit so you can live the life God is calling you to. I'm your host, Sterling Jaquith. Let us begin. I'm Sterling Jaquith, a Catholic Mom life coach, and this is a true story. So, when I was 21, 22, I went to college, and I came home one, I believe, Thanksgiving. Came home one Thanksgiving, and I had a friend who I'd been friends with forever, and his name is Tony. And we had been friends since, 11, 12, like pretty young. Good friends, no romantic connection between us. We've just always been good friends. We had a lot of classes together. And so I came home from college. His parents were gone. And so he had, party is a strong word. We were nerdy McNerd kids. And so it was more like a board game night. Okay. So I go to his house. And it was like a little mini reunion. You know how that is? When you leave to go to college, you come home, and then you get to see a bunch of your high school friends, and it's really fun. So maybe there were 8 of us. And I think there was alcohol. But again, like a big party for us was drinking 2 drinks. We were not loud. We were not irresponsible. We were 21. I do remember that there was alcohol, but nobody was getting drunk. It was like very tasteful. I literally think we played Monopoly. That's how nerdy we were. So anyway, it gets late. I'm tired. I decide to sleep on the couch. Not a big deal. And it wasn't because I was drinking. I literally was just tired and there was a couch and I was like, I'm just going to go sleep here. But I woke up like a little embarrassed. And so I wanted to get home before my dad woke up. And so I came home at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. And my dad was outside watering the roses. He was outside watering the roses. So I was like, all right, I guess there's no, and I don't hide things from my parents. And he was like, so you spent the night at Tony's? And I was like, yeah, it was fine. We just played board games. It's not a big deal. And my parents knew that I was a good kid. So he was just poking fun of me. But he kind of did it in that like raising his eyebrows way, like, oh, Tony, huh? And I was like, listen, it's been years. My parents did not think that I was going to be romantically involved with this kid. And so we go inside, and my dad lives in this cute 1925, craftsman home. And we love to just like sit and talk. So we got coffee and we sit down and we talk. And he pokes me again like, oh, so, did you fall asleep at Tony's last night? You slept there, huh? And I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. So then we start talking. My dad and I would have these serious conversations, like a deep conversation. And we were even talking about this woman that he was dating at the time. And, he was just, my dad did not date a lot after he got divorced. I remember maybe 3 women, and he would date them for 5 years, for a long time. But he didn't want to get married again. He's not Catholic. And so he was dating this woman, and we were having this like really serious conversation about her. And so then we kind of wrapped that up. Maybe 2 hours. Like, I just want you guys to understand how long we're sitting having this serious conversation about life and school and everything. And so then he kind of asked me again. He's like, so, you fell asleep at Tony's, huh? And he was like, who else was there? And he's like poking me a little bit. And I'm like, what are you doing? You know that nothing happened, nothing between he and I. This is not a big deal. And I'm 21 at this point, right? Like, I live in Seattle and I had come home to visit my family. So he's kind of smirking at me and he says, hey, did you see the bathroom remodel? I said, no. He's always kind of dinking around in that house because it's old. So I go in to the bathroom and I'm like, no joke, you guys. I'm like looking at the floor. I'm looking at the shower. I think maybe he like tiled it or something. I'm looking around. It all looks totally the same to me. And so I call out. I say, I don't see anything. It looks totally the same. He goes, oh, did you look in the mirror? Which I guess I hadn't. And I turn around and I look at the mirror and someone has Sharpied in large black letters, I with a heart, balls on my forehead. And my philosophical father sat there for 2 hours staring at his sweet daughter's face with the words, I heart balls on my forehead. Now, that was fantastic. I laughed so hard. He laughed so hard. So great. But what was even more great is that I then got to relay that entire story to my friend Tony, who knows my dad, and my dad's pretty cool. And he was just like, oh, that makes it so much better. So, it's the middle of January. It's Friday. And I just thought, I want to tell them something funny. And that is probably one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. Not super inappropriate, but I don't know that I would want my kids hearing that without hearing it first. So, I love you. You're doing a great job. You're a great mom. Let's lighten up a little bit sometimes. Think of something fun to do today. Maybe you can Google knock knock jokes and tell them to some of your kids. I love you. I'm praying for you. Have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Mom Mindset. To learn more about growing closer to the Holy Spirit, check out our free resources at madeforgreatness.co. Thank you so much for listening and have a blessed day.